kind of led me to realize in family environment and work environment, whatever the environment is, couplehood, how money can create dis-ease. No matter what, it can cause that. So it's like, how can we work together, coming from different money backgrounds and different mindsets around money, to really live in harmony with it? So in my company, and I think I said that last time, is I started working with people with what's called a discovery process to kind of work around the emotions of money. So I took the 9 points on the wheel, not any specific, not the inner you, outer you, inner group, outer group, the choice, flow, synergy, harmony. But I created, when Elijah worked with me with my company doing the synergy map for LR Future, on number 2 being economics out to the world, I took that 2 wheel and I go, or I took that 2 and I go, I can create a wheel for this, a map. And I created it with 9 points around it. So 1 being accounting. And I think I went through this last time, so I don't want to get deep into it, but I don't have one here. They're all at work. And how it's amazing when I take people through cash flow planning. And then number 4 on the map is beliefs around money. And how are those beliefs taking you forward or holding you back in prosperity and abundance? And again, I tell people all the time, we're working with the resource of money because I'm a financial advisor. But once I'm able to get out of being a financial advisor, I can really open up the gates for myself without compliance and everything. So we're launching a learning center. It's kind of been in the making over the years, but we want to go forward with it. It's just learning center right now. We're having a meeting tomorrow night with our group to see what we're going to name it. So my part, and I heard on the tape on the video last night or yesterday, that I'm here, as I'm sure you guys are, we're here to take Elijah's work out to the world. And that's exactly where I am. And I've just pulled little pieces from different things I've learned from Elijah over the years to see how I can implement it into what I love to do and what I'm good at and what I can possibly teach others to do. So Elijah, as far as I'm concerned, like, it's not even a mastermind just to say, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? It's like, how can we come together and use the tools and get them out there to be able to utilize them in whatever avenue we want to go forward in doing it? So my total interest is working with the 4 maps, the inner you, the outer you, those maps, and then also to work with my financial map, because I want to semi-retire into coaching people around money and abundance and prosperity. Maybe not just money, but abundance and prosperity. And I love the idea of the ideal job, Elijah. You came up with that one some time ago. Yeah. How to create that ideal job. And when you're doing that ideal job, the money just flows to you through it. So all of us coming here with our expertise to say, okay, this is great. Now, how can we take it out to the bigger world? Mm. So that's kind of where I am. You guys have always been on my mind and in my heart. I just kind of got sidetracked for a little while, losing my dad, who was a very, very important role model in my life. So that's a bit of a void for me right now, but it's all good. He's in a better place. So, So thanks you guys sorry, I've missed the last couple of weeks, but.
That's okay. Thank you. And just so, I'm not sure if you guys know, but Laurie and I've known each other, is it 10 years? When did we meet, 10 years ago or something? Or?
Well, 2011, we did my map for my company.
Okay.
And I knew you before that, so.
Okay. But Laurie made a map with the Synergizer map, with the values map, and didn't have much of a manual, didn't have much training, but used that for her business and had some seemingly very good results. So, Jordin, do you want to go next? Jordin and I had met in between, and we were speaking about making videos to support the Remedy app and to have some. Do you want to speak about that, Jordin? And
yeah, actually, I just want to say it's really cool that the 4 of us are here, because our first synergy meeting ever, me and Nova were the last on the line, and we actually spent a lot of time talking, and we said, you know what, I would love to, and I was thinking like in the next 2 weeks at the time, but I would love to synergize in this 4 configuration around money. specifically, how to create a, a sustainable abundance. And so that it's very cool that we're all tuned in, turned out this way. But yeah, so Captain Sweep prescribed me to create 9 different videos that can promote how to use the chooseremedy.com, how to use that application in your life, promoting that through different concepts like what is a value or what is a conversation type, and creating like a 1-minute video about those. So in the process of creating those videos, I've been learning, very practically how to have like an interlaced production. So kind of like creating all the 9 videos simultaneously, just to create like bulk production of content that's really stylish and really really clear and to the point and stylish, but doing it in basically like, well, I'm going to make the titles for the video. So I make all the titles first, right? And then the next part I do like the intro, and I do an intro for each of them, and just learning basically how to have an interlaced production so I can create, all the episodes basically form together, and the series is birthed as like the entire series is here, instead of doing one video at a time and then putting all your work in there. And then after that video is done, have to do like 8 more. It's like when it's done, it's done. It's like you're complete, and then everything is sitting there, and it all plugs together in a rhythmic or musical fluency, right? Of a much more like holistic understanding of, in this case, how to choose a remedy to to appropriate that into your life.
Do you want to show the titles you've done?
Mhm.
You might have to turn your background off, because it's hard to see things when you go to the screen with the background on.
Well, to go through, you wanted me to go through each of the titles?
Yeah.
Okay. 1 second, I just gotta go collect them.
We talked again last night. We made a map of the 9, and then he's got his system, I got my system, and it's funny working with other architects. Everyone's got a conceptual way of conceptualizing everything. So
that's what I said. Like, yeah, so for instance, the first part of each video is me just in like a location, and here's all the different titles of the show episodes. So starting with 1, distinguishing relationship fields is the first title, right? And so yeah, in this way, it's just a piece of paper. I can take a photo or a video of this, and then like input that into the content, and I've got the titles for each one. The second one is a new way to make spells. 3, what is a conversation type? 4 is, what is a value? 5 is, what is a conceptual lens? 6, how to generate a conversation that leads to a remedy. 7, thank you for staying with me through this. 7, how to use divination to see the world differently. And 8, very interesting thing I just noticed. 8 is channel relevance, but I've been noticing my spelling is, I'm not a very good speller. I'm more just kind of like feel the meanings and kind of like put them in their place, but actually spell. So it says relevance actually, but I've noticed that kind of pattern in a couple. And the 9th one, just to conclude here, is the inflow matrix, how to generate a whole new way of thinking. Right? So now if we're bringing that into like, creating media with these titles, they can follow me around. And not only that, but like as I'm bringing this around to my different workspaces, or like if I'm traveling around like a forest or the city to like make part of the video, or just throughout my day, I can at any point just take these out and like put them in front of me and kind of like attune to like these meetings and draw, basically, they're just creating content everywhere I go. I got my phone and I got this little magnet. And so as I'm going around, I'm constantly meditating on what does this mean? And at any point, like reality is giving me examples of like how I can interpret this in terms of relating to my life. And I got my phone handy and this little magnet, whenever, and the inspiration will hit, and I'll just be like, oh, you know, this is what this piece means. And in that way, you're just passively kind of constantly creating an inventory of the content that will later be aligned and plugged into all the different, different shows. So that's a process that we're, initiating and starting. And this is really the first project that actually, fits my model, basically, to be able to create 9 1-minute videos that are part of one series of explanation.
Awesome, Jordin. Awesome. Nova.
It's me.
That is you, Nova.
Yeah, Nova checking in, feeling pretty good. Had a really cool dream. I won't go into details, but personally it was really cool. I thought real quick, if you want to let me share, I could show kind of where we're at and we can all talk about that or something.
Yeah. You are now a host.
All right. So I'm sure everyone remembers the original kind of ugly iteration we came up with. Basically, this is just, I threw stuff together so that it would work, but it's pretty ugly. We got the 5 questions and we got the spell coming up. And that was pretty much the first version. So definitely needs some improvement. So Elijah went behind the scenes and created a whole new design for how it should look. And so I'll skip to kind of the second iteration here. I think you've kind of seen how it will look. So here's just a quick demonstration of where we're at here. So you got the 5 questions. So we'll pick
6 questions.
6 questions. I can't count apparently. So say let's pick a service question. And now you got a little better of a look happening here.
Okay.
And you have more detail. And then we have the other portions of it coming into view here. And you can do a new spell, of course. Maybe a business question. And so we're going to have to work on the speed of this. There's, me and Elijah were talking about that just a few minutes ago. There's various things we can do. And also I'm thinking, if we look at this the way it is, also you notice this one lens desire on the right, it's kind of off. That's actually because some of the images themselves are off. Maybe about 10 or 12. I'm trying to figure out which ones, but that's why it's not appearing there.
Oh, so they're a bit of a different size?
No, there's a few of them that have some extra space on the canvas, basically, of the transparent background. So they're a bit of different size, and then so they come up skewed a little bit.
Okay. Okay.
What I was thinking when I got to this point is, we have these 4 buttons on the outside, on the corners that are going to lead to things. We've got start a caravan, we got start a conversation. Those are going to lead to other things. That's all got to be worked on still. But I was thinking if you remove the corner ones just at the moment and kind of shrunk this bottom stuff down to just new spell, and maybe for the average user you take away these labels as well because they don't really know what they mean necessarily. Right here we've got a finished product. Actually, and it kind of looks like a person, which I think is interesting. And then it becomes kind of a simple tool that we can throw out there right now until we get the others portions of it finished if we wish.
I like
So I
this cleaner. Yeah.
It is.
kind of wanted to demonstrate how this would look, and that's it. You know, you can do a new spell, you can share it through all the various means.
Can you share it like as a spell?
No, we'll have to work on that as well. That basically comes down to the PDF, PNG, the save as thing. As soon as the save as thing works, then you can share that particular thing that you're saving as well.
Right.
But yeah, I'll give you back control here. I just wanted to demonstrate kind of where we've come from, where we're at, and that if we break this down into a simplest version, that version is basically ready. And it might be something to try to produce first or not. I would just offer a suggestion. And you can take back the sharing thing so the conversation is back in your control.
Okay, what do you guys think?
That is great. And I like that you pulled out the corners to make it not so crowded and overwhelming, to keep it simple. And like you said, the title of the cards don't matter right now, because you're exactly right. People don't really know. Now, as those videos are done, Jordin, that explains convo types and what that stuff means, that's a different story. So what a good job. Now that question that comes up, like when you hit a business question or intimate question, are there a bunch of questions keyed in there?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. How many?
About 10 each. About
10 each? Okay. Okay.
Now, Jordin was bringing up yesterday, if I can say, Jordin, about having the ability to put in your own question could be more important than the divination. So I'm just wondering if we could add that in as one of the features to upgrade.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. A lot of people will want to ask their own question and then hit go or something.
Yeah.
I feel if I like, if I'm like aligning with this and getting in tune with it, if I had that ability, like I feel like my excitement channel would, you know, if I could frame it with my question as the title, you know, then I'd feel like I have more control in creating my life through the divination.
Like I was using it quite a bit, testing it, and just being like, oh, I wonder what, you know, what would come up with me for a question for intimate or a question for friendship right now. And then I look at the question, and I look at the spell coming in, and I think, oh, that's pretty on par. But yeah, if I could put my own question to that, it would suddenly become, yeah, like Jordin said, quite a bit more exciting as well.
Oh, also, yeah, the other one is like basically there's three options, because there's your own question and there's the random question generator. But it would also be cool if there was an option that you could see all the questions there that you have. Like if you could go into basically like create a new spell and like choose from a list. Cause like, I'm thinking about like, I'm with somebody and we're going into a meeting and we're like, okay, what, you know, we open up the app and we're like, okay, what's our conversation? Like, was it business or is it like a friendship? Where are we going? And we select one of those. It'd be cool to have a list of questions that we could choose from as to like basically enter a room to host our conversation. You know,
Would
to
that
be able
a
to like,
drop down?
yeah.
It would be like a drop down to show all of them and go, click, that's the question that I want right now. Because there's a lot of people that don't know what their question needs to be. But like you say, if you see all 10 right off the bat, then at least you can choose one of those 10. Yeah, that would be really cool.
Yeah, because this last one was about like connecting with your son or something. And if I'm like, you know, that's a very niche, like, you know, I don't know if that's what the conversation is going to be about primarily. So I'd have to click a new spell, but actually you have to go, like, you have to wait for the screen and then go back into the page and then like click, and you're waiting for all these pages to occur to open up a new spell to try and find relevance. So
Excellent. I love the way it works though. Really cool.
I was just wondering though, of keeping, because we want to sort of train the people that that's the value, that's the convo type, and that's the lens. So I'm just thinking if we kept that on, but took everything else off like you have, I like that. And then we can just add things as they become actualized kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely.
And I was thinking about, it's going to be nice to have stats, like how many things have been done per day or per month, or how many, like it kind of like at the gamification of it at some point is going to be like who's using this and how are they using it and why they're using it, in a sense. So the stats that we're tracking could be important too. I know there's Google Analytics, but is there other things that we can do that isn't that hard?
No, yeah, that's easy. We can build our own analytics, and just it records everything that happens, and then we can generate our own statistics or charts or whatever we want. Google Analytics is good for web traffic, but for, you know, tracking what people are doing with an app is better to have our own stuff anyway.
Because I was thinking, you know, like they have badges for like if you're a good person in Facebook, but just if someone gets over 100 remedies and they've shared it a certain amount of times, that then they get more access to maybe more features, kind of thing. The more you use it, the better you get, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think it's great, and I think it's I think with just if we could just put your own question in, and maybe what would you have, like could you have the drop down menus and the put your own question and the rant, like have all three kind of
That would
choices?
be ideal. That would be so ideal.
Yeah, I think maybe before you see the question bar, perhaps you'd, you know, I'm not sure how it should look, but something like maybe you pick your field first, like friendship, intimate, etc. Then you pick random or select, or, you know, specify or something like that, and then, you know, give you the choice of putting your self question in, or picking one, or, you know, or just it having to define a question for you as well, kind of thing. But yeah, how that visually appears and works is obviously the question as well.
Yeah, because you have write your own question, choose a question, or divine a question, right? As the three choices. I'm wondering, Laurie, if there could be, because we should start to test with people, and I'm just wondering, this could be a way to bring customers to you, is that you could send it out, a big email, or send out a big thing to your people saying you're looking for a testing group.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And then this could be a sort of a way to start to enroll people in your program.
Yeah, that would be great.
And maybe if we get like 100 people to test it or something like that, or could be the beginning of the potential facilitators, because I think at some point this is like a facilitation tool.
Yeah.
And then there'll be training programs around training for facilitators, and this is probably one of the best ways to bring them in.
Yeah.
And then maybe what we could do is there a simple way of like, if we had a learning center, if we put Laurie's logo, let's say at the top left, and I think a way to make this a revenue stream is when we custom design it to a company who then is using it to gather traffic for themselves, right? And so what we could do with Laurie and Lara is create one maybe for each, one for the spinning ninny and one for Laurie, because they're the two people who have businesses right now that can use it. And I'm just wondering, I mean, obviously you can kind of set it up so you can create multiples of these, right?
Yeah, how it would work is, you know, either we custom design them for each person, or we design all the customizations first and then allow people to, you know, create their own customization when they sign up or whatever.
Yeah.
That's ultimately how it should be.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think you're right, Nova. There should be a certain way, and then as you sign up, then it can be customized.
Yeah, which would
No, that would be great.
maybe they define all of their questions first as well, or choose, you know, how that process works and limit the lenses to certain things, or I don't know exactly what, but well, obviously they'd want to change the appearance perhaps, or move things around, put their logo in, etc. But yeah.
And then I'm wondering if the videos that you're making, Jordin, that we could custom design those to, we could have the basic 9, and then we could have a set for, let's say again, Laurie, and a set for Lara. Like we just put their logos at the
You know
beginning.
how that branding would work?
Yeah.
What's your idea? It's basically to have their logo on the page, but are they exporting that like for promotional purposes or for like? I mean, I have my own ideas. I have like a plethora of ideas of how that could be used, but I'm just curious to like what I don't know if I'm quite understanding what you guys mean in the field of how to use that branding or what the purpose is.
Well, I'm just thinking that, you know, it's kind of like a built-in marketing program that we give the businesses, where here's the videos that explain how this works. We'll put your logo at the beginning, and then you'll use these videos to, you know, maybe 1 every 3 days, or however program we come up with. She sends it to her target market, and that's the beginning of getting them to, as they get the video, they understand, oh, this is how they're going to use the remedy program.
They're sending the application like a skinned, a branded skinned like version of the application, or they're sending their spells that are branded spell like images out.
I think it could be both. I think if we look at Laurie and Lara as target, like examples of a business, I'll like, the thing I'll have is like the example of us from the point of view of the new Paradigm Toolkit. But then we have to look at it from the point of view of, you know, the people are going to be paying us money at some point and what they get. And I think if Laurie and Lara, again, both have businesses already working that want to bring the whole thing in. So if we use them as examples.
So then that's really bringing the analytics into like not like meta data. That's like actually the data that Laurie and Lara are going to be using, like, because you know they're specifically toggling with that to see who they're reaching and how they're reaching and how people are interacting, and they're actually using that to you know, better define their product or you know, whatever their purposes are with that data. One thing you could do is you could skin the background. Like you could just easily throw an image in there that, like, you know, gave you the feeling of the brand, right? Just so that they have a little bit more, like, when their customers or clients are using the software, they're getting the essence more of the culture of that brand. And then have their logo at the top, and then have the thing, and then, you know.
Yeah, we do that. I work with a company out of Nova Scotia that's it's called Cash Flow Planning, and all their stuff is standard, and all they do is they bring in our logo so it personalizes it.
Because I'm just thinking, like, this would be really cool, and I'll just put this idea, like, if you had the image, the photo, like, and you could choose the background photo, and then you had the spell there, and you had the question, and then you had the brand, and you could, anybody that's using that could export that photo, you know, setting daily intentions, or here's the intention for this direction in this project, right? However, or here's like how we're relating, me and this new person, that client or business partner that we're working with. You could export that image and then like post that and have that as like, you know, okay, promotional data that's also bringing in clarity about, you know, whatever it's being applied to. You know, whatever your application is for that, but to pass on like information of these are the stems that we're calibrating to in this relationship to a project, person, or group.
What about in the, what about the idea with the videos specifically? I guess no matter what, we're going to come up with the 9 videos and then we can brand them and do whatever once they're made, right?
Well, yeah, but it's, I mean, sorta. It's like we're making the 9 videos, but we also need, like, for me, my excitement's not here unless I know the application, and unless the application is something that I can, you know, have viscerally like invigorate my passion into that direction, right? I'm making the video because I believe in the work, right? But I need to know how to use the work in a way that excites me, that I would actually use it. And if I don't, then I'm just like, and you should use this app because it's good for your, like, it's, there's nothing here. But if I'm into it, like I can be there like a little avatar, a video game character in a computer, and I'm like, here's a spell, like, phew, invigorate yourself into this avatar that's like, you know, business oriented. Now you're like, upload these inflow matrix maps that are like syncing you to business protocols. And I can just, if I can demonstrate that in visuals and like audio, and I can like bring that awareness, like really exciting and really palpably like you know, high degree of like understanding in the connection.
Okay,
So it's good to talk about the applications is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get it. So Laurie, how do you see using it as it is right now with any kind of clients or potential clients?
Well, I think in the learning center, like I said, you know, we're branching into there. It could be, I think using it through the learning center in that capacity. I don't know if I would use it as much in my financial services right now as is, but I would use it more on a personal learning center way. Like we do workshops all the time. We give them titles, and then that could be incorporated into our workshops. You know what, online, everything's online right now, of course, because we can't have a lot of people in our learning center, but we usually bring 10 in. And then we'll have live people, but we'll also be zooming into others that want to join us. So I don't know yet. I'm just seeing it now. So it's like I got to take a little bit of time and just kind of look at it and then maybe see the 10 questions that are in each area. And then